Today we'll be talking about drying shiitake. This is the Lentinula edodes mushroom. The mushroom's Japanese name, shiitake, is composed of shii for the Castanopsis tree that provides the dead logs on which it is typically cultivated. Take is mushroom. The specific word edodes is Latin for edible. The Japanese cultivated the mushroom by cutting shii trees with axes and placing the logs by trees that were already growing shiitake or contained shiitake spores. Before 1982, the Japan Islands variety of these mushrooms could only be grown in traditional locations using ancient methods. A 1982 report on the budding and growth of the Japanese variety revealed opportunities for commercial cultivation in the United States. Shiitake are now widely cultivated all over the world and contribute about 25% of total yearly production of mushrooms. Commercially, shiitake mushrooms are typically grown in conditions similar to their natural environment, on either artificial substrate or hardwood logs, such as oak. Raw shiitake mushrooms are rich sources of B vitamins and contain moderate levels of some dietary minerals. Like all mushrooms, shiitake produce vitamin D2 upon exposure of their internal ergosterol to ultraviolet rays from sunlight or broadband UVB fluorescent. In 2015, a study with 52 adults indicated that regular consumption of shiitake can result in improved immunity. Now that I have given you an overview of the mushroom, I'll show you an experiment that I tried involving some boiling water and some cardboard. I thought I would be able to create mycelium from the discarded shiitake buds and put it onto cardboard. Unfortunately, I did not sterilize the cardboard properly, so this experiment failed, but I will be trying again. Just let it boil for about 20 minutes to pasteurize. Put in some skewers and some chopsticks too. Now we let it cool and strain out all of the water. First, I want to make sure that it's not too hot. 40 degrees is pushing it. I would be more comfortable if it's more like 30 or 35 degrees. That way it won't kill the mycelium in these shiitake butts. First, I squeeze out the cardboard and the materials so that no more water is coming out. And then I'll wrap up these shiitake butts into the cardboard. Spoiler alert. This was not sanitary enough to provide the right conditions for these mycelium to grow out. You can see some nasty contamination in the upper right corner. This is after a couple of days. Although the process I used was okay, my sanitary techniques were terrible. Every single one of these tubs and containers got contaminated with trichoderma and aspergillus. Disgusting. So if I were to do this again, I would be using sterile techniques like you normally would with mushrooms. I thought that because it's cardboard, it was less susceptible to bacterial contamination, but I was wrong. Now I'd like for you to relax while I go through some chopping. And here we are, back in the drying process. The chopping is done. Now I use these nets that I found at a Hyakuren shop, or a dollar store here in Japan. So I'll just fill this up with these shiitake choppings. The holes in these aren't big enough for human hands. I don't know who these are made for. It's very difficult to slip all these choppings in. But in general, I try to cover the bottom of the bag with a fine layer of the choppings. Now, as you'll usually find with these dollar store items, they fall apart pretty easily. I've used this a couple of times, but the netting has ripped away from the edges. I'm using advanced sewing techniques to put the netting back onto the frame, tie it off so that I can continue my work. If you'd like, I can do a full video on how to re-net the bag. Now I have this beautiful mushroom tape. I'll use it to close off the end of this twine. And now, good as new. I'll put in the rest of the mushrooms, and then we can complete the drying process. I put this in our laundry area, right above a dehumidifier. This is pretty powerful. An alternative to this would be to just put it in the oven at a low heat and run it for a couple hours. In this case, it took about 2 days to actually get this all dried out. Now, once it is dried out, I have a vacuum impulse sealer along with some specialty bags and some other desiccant I found at the Hyakuren store. So I put the desiccant in the bag, then I weigh out the dried mushrooms. And then just put the top in the vacuum sealer, and this will last for years. So I can store it away in a cool, dry place until needed. A single packet of 20, 30, 50 grams would be perfect for some soup or stir fry. Vacuum sealer goes brrr, brrr, brrr. And thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more cutting and chopping meditation in the comments.